Welcome back to Odds of War. My name's Matt, and today we're talking about Sisters of Battle while painting a Sister of Battle. Stay tuned. So today we're doing something a little bit different, something we haven't done in a long time. We haven't done one of these since really we started the channel. Little thing that I was calling Warhobby chat. So it's a sit down with me while I'm hobbying, painting a model in this instance, and we're just going to talk about some different stuff relating to the channel and the hobby as we go. So what am I painting today? I'm painting a Canoness for the Sisters of Battle. That's a commander's option in Kill Team and an HQ option in full 40k. I'm painting this mainly because it's part of the hobby backlog, and I also want to start featuring. We've done one Commander's game on the channel featuring the Orcs and the Death Guard, but I want to start featuring some more Commander's games because I think they're really fun and I think they're a great opportunity for narrative gameplay. They're not the most balanced options out there, but again, that's why I said it's a great option for narrative. And then what are we talking about today? We're just going to sort of hit on a couple little channel update level stuff, and then we're going to talk about some ways of turning the Sisters of Battle into a little less of a sort of vanilla kill team and into something a little more reflecting like the options they have in full 40k. There will be timestamps in the description, and maybe I'll link some in the comments as well, just to if you want to skip to the parts that interest you primarily. So there you go. So just to talk about some small update things for the channel, it's been about 6 months since we did, well, I say it's been about, it's actually been 6 months since we made our New Year's resolution to not buy any more models until the hobby backlog was cleared. How are we doing on that? Well, we haven't bought any new models. We're still plugging away at the hobby backlog, so that's that's a bit of a slog, but we're moving our way through it slowly and surely. So there you go. Not a whole lot to report there other than, like I said, we're just moving through it. As far as big plans for the channel, last time we did a channel update, I said I was gonna try to do one battle report, or one hobby video, one tactics video, and 2 battle reports a month. Obviously, if you've been following the channel, basically due to the state of the world with COVID and all that sort of stuff, it's made doing battle reports a little bit more difficult than normal. And of course, we've been dealing with different life events and things like that as we've been going. So it's been a little bit of irregularity here on the channel, but that's okay. That's life. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh yeah, the last little thing, it's been about a year since we've really focused the channel on to the miniature wargaming hobby, and we've experienced a great amount of growth and everything like that. We've reached over 1,000 subscribers, and we just keep growing every single day. So just a quick thank you to all you guys who've subscribed and supported the channel. So there you have it. That's about it for channel update level stuff. So let's talk about Sisters of Battle. So Sisters of Battle, of course, came out in Kill Team Annual 2019, not too long ago, and they're sort of a almost like an army that's just sort of out of the Kill Team core manual. They don't have any sort of order convictions. That's what their faction bonuses are called, or order convictions. They don't have those as supplied by GW. They don't have the miracle dice mechanic that they have in 40k. So that's what we're talking about today, is two different ways in which you can sort of power up the sisters and use those 2 mechanics. I got these both from some recent comments on the channel on my our most recent Sisters of Battle battle report. And so just shout out to you guys for bringing these to my attention. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is for the SoCal Open, which is an event run by Frontline Gaming. They released a Kill Team mission pack for their Kill Team missions that includes faction bonuses for the different factions that were released in Kill Team Annual, and for the 2 factions released in Rogue Trader. So you can find this on frontlinegaming.net. You click on the SoCal Open. There will be a link in the description below, so you can just grab this stuff if you so choose. And I just want to talk really quick about the order convictions that they have. I don't know if homebrew is the right word, but basically what they've come up with. Okay, so the first one, they have 3 order convictions. Now, of course, in 40K, there's more than 3 orders, but you got to work with what you got, right? So in their pack, they've got 3 orders. The first one is the Order of Our Martyred Ladies. The order conviction is called the Blood of Martyrs. So it says, so dedicated are the sisters of the Order of Our Martyred Lady that nothing can keep them from fulfilling their emperor-given duty. When the fighting is fiercest and the casualties highest, these holy warriors fight with renewed conviction and purpose, inspired by their desire to avenge the deaths of their fallen. So that's your little narrative blurb for them, what they got going on. Their conviction is, when resolving an attack made with a model from your kill team, add 1 to the hit roll if 1 or more models from your kill team have been taken out of action in this battle round. Now, that one is pretty nice, I think, because, the game of Kill Team, you're going to have some casualties across the game. There's no avoiding it. So this one is going to be one of those ones where it's like you always are going to find value for it. You may not find value for it maybe the first round of the game or something like that, because of course maybe none of your models get taken out of action. But over the course of the game, you're going to hit this multiple times, whether it's in shooting, one of your models gets taken out of action, or whether it's in the fight phase if you get charged and get a model taken out of action. So, I like this one. I think it's good too, because as we know in the game of Kill Team, there's a fair number of negative to hit modifiers, whether it's because you've got a model that is obscured that you're firing at, or your model has a flesh wound. So you can immediately see the value of this one. So I think that one's pretty good, and I like that one a lot. Also, the Order of Our Martyred Lady is sort of like is to the Sisters of Battle what the Ultramarines are to the Adeptus Astartes, where it's like they're sort of like the poster children for the faction. So it makes sense that they would have one. So we'll go on to the second one next. That one is the Order of the Ebon Chalice, Daughters of the Emperor. So the Order of the Ebon Chalice is the oldest of the orders militant, and they strive to be the exemplars, both martial and spiritual, to the followers of the God Emperor. Their purity and nobility of spirit can see them perform miraculous acts of survival. When a model from your kill team would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll 1d6. On a 5-up, that wound is not lost. This ability cannot be used by a model that already used the Berserk Killing Machine ability. So, maybe at first blush, this one seems, not too bad or pretty good. But overall, I don't like it. And the reason is it's only for mortal wounds. So, of course, there's a fair number of effects in the game that do, in fact, dole out mortal wounds. But the reality is you're not going to be receiving the benefit of this trait as often as something like the Order of Our Martyred Lady, simply because it's mortal wounds only. Now, so we go, all right, so what are the different abilities in the game or factions that can really dole out mortal wounds? Well, of course, you have your 2 big psychic armies, the Thousand Suns and the Grey Knights. So I guess you could probably find some good value there if you're going up against a Grey Knight kill team, or a Thousand Suns kill team, sure, you'll get some good value there, as you can at least get a 5-up save during the psychic phase from them. And of course, a myriad of kill teams have either weapons that deal mortal wounds, or they have a tactic that allows them to deal mortal wounds. But again, like I said, these are factors that honestly you're not going to see these all the time, and so you're basically taking a order faction that is only it's situational at best, is what I'm trying to get at. So while of course it's better than no order conviction at all, it's like if you can't take an order conviction except Ebon Chalice, I mean, obviously you're going to take it, but I mean, Our Martyred Lady it's just better. All right, so we'll move on to the third one next. We've got the Order of the Argent Shroud, deeds, not words. So it is the strong belief of those within the Order of the Argent Shroud that one's conviction is best shown through bold actions. Thus is battle the best way to provide their unquenchable faith, or to prove their unquenchable faith, for there they may smite the Emperor's foes and demonstrate the depths of their devotion. When a model from your kill team advances in its movement phase, weapons are used as if that model had performed a normal move instead. So now I like this one quite a lot, actually. This one is one of those ones that, again, it sort of competes with Our Martyred Lady in strong utility, because that's one that you can get. You have total control over getting the value out of this one, because it allows you to pick when you're going to really get a use out of it. It allows you to do things like jump onto objectives that maybe you wouldn't otherwise and still get to fire your guns. It allows you to advance with a heavy weapon and still fire, so that's really nice. I mean, it's got a lot of good uses. The biggest one I think of in my mind is advancing for sisters, advancing with a heavy flamer that you wouldn't, because normally with a heavy flamer you wouldn't be able to advance, you just have to move. But now you get to advance and shoot with a heavy flamer. That's huge. Not to mention meltas, which are short range guns anyway. So now you can advance with the melta and then not take the -1 penalty for advancing with an assault weapon. I mean, that's strong. That's objectively strong. So I like that one a lot. Do I think that it could be better or more widely applicable otherwise? It's not the best. Obviously that's not the one you want to take if you're taking a kill team full of, say, arco-flagellants, but I mean, you could do a lot worse. I think Argent Shroud is the best one if you're focusing on a shooting focused kill team, and I think Our Martyred Lady is the better one if you have a more balanced kill team or a melee focused kill team. And then honestly, unless you are fighting against Thousand Suns or Grey Knights, I think you leave Ebon Chalice at the doorstep. I just don't. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough to compete with the other two. So those are the SoCal Open faction traits. If you have any experience with them, if you've played them, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear your success stories with it, what you guys think about it. And, expect me to be trying them out on the channel coming up in our next Sisters Battle Report. So in addition to those, there's one more thing that I really want to talk about as we go through here, and that this was a comment on the most recent Sisters Battle Report from Kunter. I mean, let me know if I've pronounced it correctly. The Shanghai Geek. He says, we have house ruled Miracle Dice, and using rules when you kill a specialist or a specialist dies, gain a miracle dice. It's been fairly balanced. Our group Sisters player likes how that works in game. I asked him, do you use the miracle dice the same way as in 40K? And he says, essentially, yes. So I've got the Sisters of Battle Codex for 8th edition here, or for 40K, I mean. And so just to go over Acts of Faith, gaining miracle dice, you gain 1 miracle dice at the beginning of each battle round, and you gain 1 at the end of a phase if 1 or more of the following conditions are met 1 or more times that phase. Destroying an enemy unit, a character is destroyed, a psychic power is resisted from an Acts of Faith, or you roll an unmodified 1 for a morale test. That's pretty easy to port into Kill Team, especially in the way that he said, where you focus on just the vengeance level and sacrifice level, which is destroying a unit or having one of your units destroyed, but you make it about specialists. So you kind of morph those into if a specialist takes a model out of action, an enemy model out of action, or when a specialist is taken out of action, gain a miracle dice. And a miracle dice, you roll a d6, and whatever that result is, you set it to the side and you keep that. That's your miracle dice pool. From there, you have performing an act of faith, right? So before making a dice roll for a model or unit from your army with the Acts of Faith ability, you can choose to use 1 or more of the dice from your miracle dice pool. And so you just basically, you don't roll and you just substitute that dice, whatever it rolled. So let's say you gain a miracle dice, you roll a 4. Now you have a 4 that you can substitute in for any advance roll, a charge roll, deny the witch test, hit roll, wound roll, saving throw, damage roll, morale test. So, that's really like even more so than the Order Convictions. That's the sort of stuff that I think the Sisters of Battle really need to make them unique feeling and fun to play in Kill Team. So, we look at that, we go, well, is that, highly exploitable? I don't think so. I mean, you're only going to ever have 3 specialists, 4 if you count your leader. Right, so you say, okay, if my leader takes a model out of action or is taken out of action, I gain a miracle dice. And then if one of my 3 specialists take a model out of action or are taken out of action, I gain a miracle dice. So, that means bare minimum, as the game progresses, as your specialists are taken out of action, you could get a bare minimum of 4 miracle dice over the course of the entire game, which I think is fairly balanced. And then if they start taking models out of action, you can increase that number. But again, it's only once per round. So that means that maximum, if you gain a miracle dice once per round for the entirety of the game, you're only going to get, in most Kill Team missions, a 6 miracle dice maximum. So you're talking minimum 4, maximum 6 miracle dice. Which I think is pretty balanced. I think is pretty nice, and then you can substitute it in for a hit, wound, save, deny the witch, damage, morale. Which again, these are really powerful things that you can be substituting in for. But honestly, as it's an ability that you're only going to be using, like we said, 4 to 6 times over the entire game, it ought to feel powerful. So I'm gonna, next Sisters of Battle game, I'm going to try to implement both the miracle dice mechanic and the order factions, probably going with either our Martyred Lady or the Argent Shroud, and then, like I said, see how they work out. So that's it. I think both homebrew rules adaptations, I think, are really good. I think they provide a lot of value to the Sisters Kill Team, and I think they're something that Games Workshop really needs to look at and consider how to, really involve in maybe the next Kill Team annual, maybe a White Dwarf release, sort of power the Sisters up a bit more. So that's it. So there you go, little channel update for you guys. and a little bit of talk about the Sisters of Battle. They've been pretty popular here since I've been having battle reports on the channel. You guys seem to really like seeing them in action, so expect to see these sorts of things played in the next couple battle reports you see. And please let me know down in the comments here, down in the comments on those battle reports, you know, if you have tried out either Acts of Faith or the ITC order convictions. You know, let me know what you thought of them, what worked for you, what didn't work, that sort of stuff. I really would like to know, because I want to start factoring them into our battle reports. But perhaps if you guys have seen that, like, there's just maybe some really unbalanced nature to some of them, then I can pull back on that and focus more on other areas. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. That's been our Warhobby chat for today. I made some nice progress painting the white hood and the white gloves of my Canon S here. White is a difficult color, so, you know, there you go. If you like this video and you want to see more like it in your feed every week, please make sure to subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, there's many ways to do so down in the description below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.